Thank you so much for watching Uganda Sport. My name is Beatrice Pimer. We are glad that every day you choose to love on us and stay with us when we upload our episode. Now here we talk everything politics, what you need to know about Ugandan politics, politics outside Uganda, we bring them to you here. In case you're Ugandan or you're not a Ugandan, I want to let you know that here politics make way for everything. After every 5 years, Uganda is given chance to vote. Ugandans are given chance to choose their own leader, to elect their own leader. And just to take you a little bit back, 2016 we voted, 2021 we voted, and then 2025 we will be voting again. It is supposed to be that after 5 years, Uganda has a new leader or Uganda elects a new leader. However, for Uganda, now that we know, we have one person that has led us for close to 40 years, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Every time we vote, he's the one that goes through. Every time we vote, he's the one that goes through. Many of us have said Uganda is not a democratic country. But question is, what happens when people are given power to vote, when people are given chance to go vote and choose which leader they want to elect? Isn't that democracy? That I leave it to you. In all this process, as we get to understand the politics of Uganda, the political scene of Uganda, there are processes that go through. We have a number of presidential candidates lined up for you. Amongst them, we have Ananda Ramafabi representing FDC. We do have Mugisha Muntu representing ANT. We have Robert Chagulanyi representing National Unity Platform. We have again Yoweri Kaguta Museveni coming under the umbrella of National Resistance Movement. Among these, there are also others that are behind them. We have close to eight presidential candidates. Now, in all these processes, you realize it is not a one-day thing. You don't wake up one day and say you're voting. There are things that are done to follow into the main elections. We've had primary elections for the MPs. We've had nominations for the presidential nominations lately, or just last week, 22nd, 23rd. We've had the parliamentary nominations, which have gone so far, so well. We've not had complaints like we did have during the primary elections. This time around, I don't know what happened. I don't know why the quietness, why the peace that prevailed, but I want to believe there has been assurance that the nominations, the parliamentary nominations have gone through very peacefully. To make us understand well what is happening right now, or what happened in the parliamentary nominations that just happened last week, in studio today I have a guest with me. I do have a gentleman with me called Olanya Olenge Tonny, aspiring MP for Aru Padel district. He will be helping us understand, since he's an aspiring MP, also nominated recently. At least he has been in the scene. So he will paint for us a better picture of how the nominations went, what happened therein, the difference between the nomination this year and the nominations we've had before. Most likely, what we expect to see next year in the presidential and parliamentary elections. Mr. Olenge, you're most welcome.
Thank you so much, my sister Beatrice. I must say that we thank God the Almighty for the milestone so far, for having been duly nominated to contest for the office of Member of Parliament, directly elected for the people of Aru North constituency in Pade. In Pade, we have about two directly elected constituencies. That is Aru North and Aru County. For the sake of clarity, where I'm contesting is called Aru North.
Okay.
And we were nominated with about 6 other candidates, one lady inclusive.
Number.
So basically, I look at it as a very successful process. I think I want to give the flowers where they are due to the Electoral Commission for being very organized this time around.
Okay.
The National Electoral Commission of Uganda is quite very organized this time around, and I must say Justice Biabakama and the team have done an incredible job. So far, so good. Leave alone the few areas where there are hot debates, especially in Bukedia, especially in other areas that had gaps. But those are areas that we look at the bigger part of the number of the districts in the country. Most of the districts had a very smooth nomination process. And so I would say they've had a very, very good run this time around. And I think even if you look at the engagements that they've had, even with the presidential campaigns, for the first time we're having smooth presidential campaigns. Ugandans are a bit shocked that we're not seeing tear gas, we're not seeing bullets being fired here and there. I think the Electoral Commission has embraced what the Democratic Party has been preaching so much: dialogue, dialogue, and dialogue. Constant engagements. They've always been engaging. There have been engagements, if you've seen, between the warring parties, National Unity Platform leadership, the other nominated candidates, with the police. So you would see even how police has been conducting itself, where they feel they would have fired tear gas, they restrain themselves and instead issue a press statement to condemn the behaviors of the political parties that were doing activities at that moment. So I think that is a very good step in the right in the direction of where our democracy as a country is going. I think that is a build-up towards a better angle of transition. It has given me some confidence and trust in the Electoral Commission, and also I think, from my own perspective, the electoral officers in my district in Pade have also this time around exercised a lot of professionalism, because previously there have been complaints in Pade. So this time around I saw a lot of professionalism. They supported the candidates in the nomination process, and which was very good. And of course, the only thing that I noticed was with Honorable Dongaoto, when he was going to nominate, we sat together, and then the Electoral Commission official raised the concern that Dongaoto's official agent cannot be a seconder. And being a lawyer, and he was armed with another lawyer who is his wife, they quickly out reason the electoral officials. And of course, it's a question of the law. If it doesn't exist in the law, the Electoral Commission staff cannot bring in what they feel should be the law. The law is as it is. So that is basically what I have to say about the nomination process. What remains to be tested is, in terms of our democracy, is the process of the campaigns, whether the Electoral Commission will have the stamina and the zeal to supervise these nominations. And I would appeal to government to definitely support them in whichever way they can, so that we have a peaceful campaign process that is free from violence, free from hate speech, so that it's a contestation of ideas to seek the mandate of the people. Basically, I think the Electoral Commission should not wait to basically bring the voting materials, and they should be there for the entire process. They should once in a while be sending adjudicators or electoral observers to go and listen to these different rallies. What is the language being spoken? Is it within the law? So that we have a good check and balance. And this is already a good start. And I believe the Electoral Commission this time around is willing to do the right job.
Okay.
Yeah.
Olanya, you look very young, very energetic and vibrant. What inspires you to join this race?
I would say I am 29 years old of age. Being 29 years old, I think I am one of the youngest, if not the youngest, persons in the country that nominated for a directly elected contest, not going for youth or special interest groups. I've decided to tackle the issues head on.
Inspiration behind?
I believe that young people like us who have been molded into leadership, who have been mentored, who continue to receive mentorship from every other angle of society, have the zeal and the courage and the passion. Leadership is about passion. To come for adult suffrage and contest among adults or matures. But what I will tell you is that one thing I've noticed is many people see me as a young person. Okay? And it is context.
Yeah.
It is context that when you see me, and unfortunately, God has given me a small body, which is not a problem. Everything has its make. It has also given me flexibility. I am able to move fast enough. In Acholi, we say remamaliat, meaning somebody with a fast blood. I give an analogy to the electorate or the constituents always when I'm talking to them, that when you have not listened to me, you will call me young. But after listening to my programs and how I've been doing my work, you will never call me young again. And majority of them know exactly what has been happening. I'm happy that matches have not visited all the areas of the constituency physically, but I've of course visited through the services we've been rendering and the support through the different programs we've been doing. Every member of the constituency at least knows my name, or has received a material from my end, or has at least read through my programs, or even has my number at the local level. So you'd find old women having my numbers in their homes. So I'm very happy, and I'm happy that the Electoral Commission gave me a symbol of a ball. You know, with a symbol of a ball, I am able to do so much.
Yeah.
It means that I'm going to be somebody who can connect with people, because when you're playing in the field, you can't play alone. You need many players. So you need to pass, you need to network. So I will be that fulcrum where the people of Aru North can network and move forward. So in the aspect of age, yes, I'm young in age, but I'm mature enough to lead the people of Aru North. And I'm very happy that very many of the constituents, majority of them have shown confidence in me, and the number keeps growing each and every day.
Talking about people that know you, know what you're doing, I saw the footage running around on social media. You were covered more by older people, like mature people were so much into your support. And inside me, I'm like, okay, this guy is with all the energy, all the vibe. The older people, mature people have picked interest in him. That means a lot. It means a lot. And now that brings me to a question to ask you. When I look at how NRM as a party, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has been doing his campaigns in the north, it has been massive. Can you tell us the rate? How is opposition performing in the north, or how is the current party NRM performing there? Because as I talk now, it appears more like NRM is in the front line of all this.
I'll tell you for a fact. You see, opposition, I would say, is so much weakened. But let's not look at it at the position at the angle of opposition. Let's look at it at the angle of the common man's interest. So the common man in Acholi has an interest. President Museveni and the government of NRM, stroke NRA, has a very huge debt with the people of Acholi. We are the people who have stayed in war longest, over 25 years to 30 years. Let me give you context. Look at Luero. Luero was in war for just about 5 years. But up to now, the spirit in Luero cannot stand firm. But look at Acholi that has been in war for all these years.
For over years.
And I'm here still standing. Many other sons and daughters of the land are standing.
And supporting the same government.
So when not necessarily supporting government, but standing firm, you will hardly find beggars on the streets of Gulu, streets of Kitgum, streets of Pade, streets of Lamon, or any of these Acholi districts. Acholis are naturally born as a resilient group of people. That's why we call ourselves the elephants. An elephant, even if it's a calf or a baby elephant, is firm enough to survive in the jungle. So I'll tell you for a fact that we are a people that understand society and appreciate society from the angle of, yes, President Museveni has been around. President Museveni has committed to help solve the problems. President Museveni has accepted the wrongdoings that was done in the north. And President Museveni is willing to fix these things. So being somebody who has our biggest debt, Bobi Wine doesn't have a big debt to pay with us. I don't think he has any debt.
What debt?
Nandala Mafabe doesn't have any debt to pay with us. Okay? Likewise to the other candidates that are contesting. So the people of Acholi or the people of the Greater North are supporting the president, first, number one, to show respect. Number two, to tell him that you have our debt. You see, even if you are a sick person, even if you have debt, if a sick person has your money or owes you something, even if he's in the hospital, you will find the courage to pray for that person so that he wakes up and gets back alive. Because you still have hope that the money will be paid at some point. So that is the hope we have in President Museveni. So as we are protecting the gains, for us we are protecting, number one, the debt that the president and the government owes us, cattle compensation, war victims compensation, the full implementation of the Juba Accord.
Recently, I saw, was it an article that says the Acholi people, I don't know which group of people were being compensated for their lost cattle?
I'll tell you the compensation. Basically, let me start it from here. The context of war in Acholi is not just by closing it, by saying we don't have now war, we are peaceful because the gun is silent. No, war has simply changed the form. You've seen war in different contexts, land grabbing, abject poverty, a lot of issues with HIV that came in post-LRA. So that is the context of war. Post-traumatic stress disorders, people who got sick mentally, and there are very many of that kind. So that's the level of war now. So that means if the president and the NRM are willing to solve the question of the war, which I believe they're willing to do, they should then implement fully the Juba peace agreement, okay, that was signed between the rebel forces and the government and international guarantors. So that will give us hope that there will be full implementation of the war, I mean, of the peace process. And I think time has come by, and I'm happy that the Constitutional Affairs Minister and Justice and Constitutional Affairs Minister has been pushing for this Justice Transitional Bill, you know, that tackles issues of reparation, tackles issues of compensation of the war victims, and tackles the aspects of truth-telling, just like you saw it was done in Rwanda post the Rwanda genocide. So I give President General of the DP, Norbert Mao, his flowers for pushing this tirelessly, and I think this bill is in its advanced stages. And I'll tell you for a fact, there were people who were fighting this bill from government, internally from government. They broke into the office of Norbert Mao several times in the Justice Ministry. Offices were broken down. People went there to grab and take away the bill because they knew that in this bill, there are people who would be penalized by the law. So we want it on record that this bill should be passed in the next Kisanja that the president is coming for. So for us as Acholi people, or for us as people of the North, we're not supporting for fun. We're supporting because there's a debt to pay. And the man that has the debt to pay has agreed that he will pay the debt. So that is a gain already for him to accept. Remember, the president went there with the first lady and the daughter, Patience, to have a prayer in Gulu, and they acknowledged the mistakes that were done, and they asked for forgiveness. That is a good process, a good step in the right direction. So we think there is a very strong call for us to protect the NRM government as it is, because we think now the NRM government is understanding the people of Acholi. They want to solve the issues as they are. So that is the first gain that we want to protect for the NRM, who have acknowledged that there were gaps, that there were mistakes, that there were atrocities that were committed in the North. We want them to be fixed. So for us, we are supporting the NRM because of those particular reasons.
40 years down
and of course, I'll tell you for a fact, 40 years down the road, the NRM has tried its very best. The biggest gift that the president has given is the gift of physical peace. Physical peace. I told you peace is in different contexts. If I'm poor, I am not peaceful. If I'm poor at the moment, I'm not peaceful. If I can't have my kids go to proper schools, I'm not peaceful. I will be mentally stressed, emotionally drained. So that is not peace. We need peace at a broad-based level. So that is now, I think, the angle that the president... But of course, you need to appreciate people for what they've done. The president has brought in peace. Now we don't run anyhow. Those days, 4 p.m., you're already going to find where to sleep. So I understand. There are people who may not understand peace if you tell them the North is peaceful. Some of us who grew through the war, we saw it. We stayed in the IDP camps in Pajimo, in Akwang. We know what war means. So we think the president has done his best with the UPDF, with the different security forces, to make sure that we have relative peace in the country. I think Uganda is one of the most secure countries in the Great Lakes region. and we need to give him support for that. So if you look at the president's manifesto, he's basically talking about peace, development in terms of infrastructure, and then economic empowerment, those three aspects. So I think now the government is trying to prioritize three key important things, which they think it was a strategic mistake to them to have captured so many angles. The president in Kitgum clearly said that it is a mistake for you to be chasing two things at a go. Focus on one. So they've chosen three key items that they're focusing on in the next tenure of government. So we think the support is not coming because of any other thing. It's coming because of exactly what I've explained. The peace we see in the north. Although we want a broad-based peace in terms of job security, in terms of employment for our young people, in terms of equal opportunities, equity in terms of national distribution of services. So we think that is the angle that actually people look at it. And the big debt that the president has accepted to pay. Now the president has said for the cattle compensation, he will give cattle to every household, five cows.
What happens if he doesn't?
We are taking him by his word, and we think that the president at his age cannot lie. He has outgrown the age of lying, you know. So as an elder, he's a very patient man, he's a listening man, and we think like he preaches, like this facility preaches. The president says he wants to go to heaven, so anybody who wants to go to heaven cannot be lying.
Cannot lie.
Yes.
Northern Uganda has been was fully captured by the UPC, to say, especially the areas around Lira. Obote, the late, had captured that region for, like, without doubt, without anything else. Unfortunately, with all these nominations that have happened, we've not seen UPC in any picture. It appears like UPC was kicked out of the picture. Should we say right now Northern Uganda has fully moved into NRM or has fully changed their mind to accept the new leadership?
I will speak from my heart because, you know, the name that I have is a UPC name. My name is Olanya Olenge Tonny. I was named after a minister in Obote II's government, Minister Olanya Olenge. He was Minister for Culture and Mobilization. When I was born, it was when he was landing with a plane in Kitgum. So they gave me the name. Perhaps that's why I drew a lot of inspiration from how UPC does its governance. Even the president was a member of UPC originally. I'll tell you for a fact that I really felt so burdened. I really felt so disheartened when I saw the UPC president, Jimmy Akena, Honorable Jimmy Akena, the former first son, somebody who has been in State House, shed tears in front of Parliament. And the statements he made were statements that were really statements that were thought-provoking. And I took it upon myself. Of course, there can be denials that there was not frustration from the government side. I think, just like the president said, that for him, he didn't have any hand in it. I think there are bad elements in this government that act outside the president's consent. And they think that by doing that, they're trying to please the president. That happens a lot.
How come the president doesn't have control over that?
This is a very big country. You can't run everything. There are rogue elements in every system. So there are rogue elements within the NRM system. There are rogue elements within this government that could have messed up with the judicial system, could have messed up, or could have used other people to frustrate the nomination.
Their names were missing.
I am very confident. I am very, very confident that there are people who are used to frustrate the nomination of Honorable Akena. To the calculations and to my access of political understanding is that the thinking is UPC has built a farm base in Lango sub-region. If you saw the last two primary elections that UPC participated in Lango sub-region, they won it all. And these were positions being held previously by the NRM. Wow. The Ngola, Honorable Ngola, who was killed by a bodyguard. He saw rest in peace, lost a seat. NRM lost a seat there. And then you saw the other by-election as well. UPC showed that they were firm, and Akena had been mobilizing, Honorable Akena had been mobilizing. So I think so many other people, or some people within the government system felt threatened that if Akena was allowed to nominate as a presidential candidate, perhaps he would move around the country and generate some clout for the party, but build a firm base of the UPC in Lao that no NRM person be it a minister, be it a farm person, would get even a win in Lango sub-region. Because the political theatrics in Lango says that when they see a Kenya, they see President Obote. When they see a Kenya, they see a chief orphan. Okay, they call him the chief orphan. So there are a lot of emotions around Lango sub-region, and I plead with the NRM and the president to carefully handle this situation of UPC. If not, even if Akena is missing in the ballot, trust me, NRM may not get votes in Lango sub-region. And I want to be very honest. I am not the kind of person who supports NRM as a yes sir person. I'll speak my mind to the opinions on how I see and how I feel about it. If the NRM doesn't handle Lango sub-region carefully, they will lose the vote to another presidential candidate. Because the UPC or the NRM, I mean, all the people of Lango will vote in protest of their own not being on the ballot, frustrated. Because Akena, if you saw the context of how it has been built up over time, even Noob had issues in the last election, but the candidate was allowed to nominate. So why wouldn't you allow Akena to nominate? There was no context, perhaps.
Could it be Akena?
Definitely, there were hands to frustrate the UPC, like I said. Yes, I have spoken because I have access to some information to understand how it was played out. Yes, the president clearly said he wasn't involved. His hands are clean. He acted like Pontius Pilate. He washed his hands, said, my hands are, and then he left it perhaps to the public or to the people to deal with it, the public court. And you saw what they did. They crucified Jesus the same way Akena, Honorable Jimmy Akena, was crucified, which is a very unfortunate situation for the democracy of this country. And right-thinking people should look into it, because a person like Honorable Jimmy Akena is an influential figure, is a statesman who will be very influential and very much needed in the negotiation for this transition post-Museveni, post-President Museveni. Because definitely President Museveni will leave this country. Uganda will remain. We need everyone to talk about these things.
Uganda still belongs to the young people. And very soon we will see the ministers the ministerial posts full of young people, the MPs full of young people. We'll see a number of offices having young people. Better still, I want to let you know that Uganda, as you just said, is very peaceful. Never like before have we seen this kind of election where Uganda is very peaceful. We are minding our own business. No stress and no chaos, nothing anywhere else. We are very peaceful. We just can't wait to see next year as we vote for our president. I don't know who your president is, either His Excellency Kaguta Museveni or Robert Chagulanyi or who Nandala Mafabi or Mugisha Muntu or any other. Feel free, go cast your vote. Vote for whoever you want to be your president. And trust me, so long as that's where your peace is, cast your vote there. We are not selling any president here to anybody, because at the end of the day, you know whom you want to vote for. It's been a good time to have you all along from the time we started up to where we have reached right now. We could talk and talk again, but now our time is up. Allow us end here. In case you've not subscribed, just hit the subscription notification, no, bell. It's a bell. Just click on it. You will have subscribed already. Send in your comments. Do give us a thumbnail if you love the discussion. And of course, we are always at your service for anything that you need. You want to advertise, you want to speak to us, you want to share opinion, you want to speak politics to us, business, education, just reach out to us in our inbox. Let us know you're interested in this, and we can have life together with you. We can push Uganda, we can make Uganda a better country, not only for me, you, but for the entire country and for each one of us. Thank you so much once again for being part of this. Allow me have a drop of the mic here. Bye-bye.